Man, this was a goofy film. I'm going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts, and then I'm going to go over my spoiler-filled thoughts on The Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master.
How sweet, fresh meat.
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master.
Freddy Krueger returns once again to terrorize the dreams of the remaining Dream Warriors, as well as those of a young woman who may be able to defeat him for good. While I didn't think this was a great film, I still had a pretty good time with it. This is a film that you should definitely go into knowing it's goofy and full of one-liners, definitely something you shouldn't take seriously. It's not a dark and serious film like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. This film is just goofy, and there's also quite a bit of cringy dialogue in this film and some acting that I didn't find that convincing, but no like acting bad enough that it really bothered me. I also personally prefer Patricia Arquette as Kristen Parker in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 instead of Tuesday Knight, who plays her in this film. There's also some really goofy stuff that happens in this film. For example, there's a scene in the film that has to do with a dog going pee, which leads to something kind of insane, really absurd, really strange. This film also has a couple of decently sized plot holes and things that don't make sense. At least I think they didn't make sense. I also found the dream sequences and kills better in the second half of this film. I wasn't as impressed with the first half of the film when it came to the kills and the dream sequences, but I don't think any of them were bad. I just think that they're ramped up a bit more at the end. There's also something they did with a particular character that I was just definitely not expecting. I'll get more into that in the spoiler part of the review, and some people will enjoy this while others won't, but this film has a lot of goofy one-liners from Freddy Krueger. I think this is a positive for me. There was also a pretty gross body horror scene towards the end that I really liked. I also really liked a brother and sister dynamic that was in this film. I really liked how it was done. I think that it made me really like both the characters. I think if you go into this film for a goofy good time, you could really enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna go to my spoiler thoughts, so a big spoiler warning. I think they killed off the Dream Warriors maybe a little too fast. I think that we probably should have had more time with them in this movie. I feel like they definitely weren't as important to this movie as the third film, and they just killed them off like really quick. I was also surprised when they killed off Christine Parker around halfway through this film and had Alice Johnson as the main character, though I think that scene where like Kristen Parker transfers her powers to Alice Johnson was just so goofy. I don't know how I feel about it. It was just so dumb and it was strange. Also, this isn't that big of a deal, but I wish that they kept Rick alive a little bit longer. I just really like that character and I wanted a little bit more screen time with him. I also really like Debbie's death where she turned into a bug. That was just pretty gross, pretty gnarly, pretty creative, so I had a really good time with that. And honestly, those are my thoughts. I would love to know your opinions on this film, and with that, bye.